Welcome back to Ride and Glide Reviews. Today we're going to be looking at the Super 73 range. I'm going to start with the entry-level ZG, moving on to the S2, and then on to the top of the range RX. We're going to show you all of their features, and you can decide which one's best for you. First of all, I want to draw your attention to the wheels. On the ZG, which we said is the entry level, they're a 20 by 4 inch, they're still a fat tyre, but they're slicks, so you call these street tyres. If you look over at the S2, and then over again to the RX, you can see these have both got BDGR 20 by 4.5 inch tyres on the front, by 20 by 5s on the back. So thicker tyres, they've got more grip, more like an all-terrain tyre, and they've got a slightly different compound. So they're a more advanced tyre than we've got on the ZG. That's the first difference. Coming back now over to the ZG, obviously you can see there's no suspension on the front forks. Whereas on the S2, if we move over here, you can see has front suspension as standard, and also on the RX, you can see has front suspension as well. So that's a big difference between all the three bikes. Moving back onto the ZG again, coming onto the handlebars, look at the brakes. So these are mechanical disc brakes. I think they're Tektro on this bike, it doesn't have a brand on it, but moving over to the S2 and the RX, if we come up here, you've got the Magura MT5 electronic brakes, which are very, very, very high quality, made in Germany, really, really top of the line brakes. So that's another big difference between the two. Looking at the saddles now, come over to the ZG saddle. It's long and low, pretty comfortable. The S2, similar design, a bit shorter. You can tell slightly more padding in there, coming around onto the RX, which I would say looks very comfortable, perforated and waterproof. This has got to be the top of the line saddle when you compare all of them, but they all look pretty comfortable. Now, let's move on to the rear. First of all, it's obvious that this doesn't have rear suspension. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to take you down to the motor. This is a 250 watt motor. So this bike goes 15 miles per hour or 25 kilometers per hour as a UK and European standard. So this is legal on the roads. The S2, coming over now, and the RX, both have the 1200 watt motor. So this allows the bike, when it's in off-road mode, to go a lot faster. When it's in road legal mode, it's stepped down to 250 watt, same as the S2. When you unlock it with the app, if you get the off-road package, these can go up to 30 miles an hour with the throttle. So they're a lot more powerful. 250 watt on the ZG, 1200 watts on here, restricted to 250 when it's in road legal mode. I spoke about the rear suspension, or lack of, on the ZG. Here on the RX, the top of the range version, you can see we've got the rear shock. Move over here to the S2. This is a big difference between the S2 and the RX because these are very comparable, these bikes. One thing you'll notice, no rear suspension. So there's a big difference in the frame there. So the RX benefits from that extra comfort, extra ability to go off-road. The S2 is still very comfortable, has the front shock, so more of an urban ride that can take a bit more of uneven terrain, but definitely the RX if you're looking for that more off-road feel. Another very, very, very big difference is the battery size. So over on the ZG, the battery is actually built into the seat. So you can't just clip it in, clip it out. And the range on this is about 40 kilometers, 25 miles maximum, something like that, which is great for nipping about town. But if you're going on long distances, this probably isn't the bike for you. Great fun for nipping about town, but not going to take you a long way. I think it's 313 watt hours, the battery in the ZG. Comparatively, the S2, I think it's 960 watt hours, the same as the RX. So they've both got the same battery. These can go up to 120 kilometers, both of them. In eco mode probably, with a fairly lightweight rider, something around 75, 80 kilos, but the distance is almost triple what the ZG can do. So there's a big improvement here on these bikes comparatively. Now, the cost makes a big difference. The ZG at the entry level, just over £1,600. The S2, £3,300, and the RX, £4,100. Now that is a big difference, but as we've shown, there are quite a few differences here. The ZG is great if you just want an electric bike for nipping around. They look really cool, they've got a great look about them. The S2 gives you that a bit more edge. It comes with the fenders, same as the RX. It comes with the a light as well. They all come with lights actually, but on the ZG comes with rechargeable lights. The S2 comes with a front circular light, and the RX comes with a built-in light here in sort of this plastic casing which matches the fender. As I was talking about the fenders earlier, the S2 and the RX come with fenders. The ZG, you have to buy them as an extra. One thing we get asked a lot about on the ZG is, can I add suspension? Can I add a throttle? In America, the Z series is called the Z1, and that comes as standard with a throttle. In the UK and EU, that is not road legal with a throttle, so you cannot put a throttle on this bike. Suspension also doesn't fit, because as you can see, the tubes are thinner than the standard tubes. If you come over now to the S2, the size that you can fit on suspension to. So this bike really is sort of the basic version, but great fun to ride. As I've said, the S2 then steps that up a gear with the front suspension, fenders, bigger battery, really nice brakes, and the RX takes that a step further again, adding the rear suspension, the look, the aggressive front lighting. But performance-wise, speed and range, these two are the same. So what you're paying for with this, mainly the rear suspension, the different look, the aggressive nature of the bike. So I would call this the off-road, I would call this the semi-off-road, and this is probably more like the town bike. Another amazing feature about the RX and the S2 is that they have an app. So as you can see here, you can open your app, and that can have firmware updates done for you on it. You can access different speed settings, and also if you buy the off-road package, that's how you unlock unlimited mode, which allows you to unlock the full power of the motor, so the 1200 watts, whereas normally it's at the 250. So that's really cool, but the ZG doesn't have that, so it's only on the S2 and the RX. Another difference, if you come over to the ZG, is the weight. The weight of the ZG is around 25 kilos, the S2 is 33 kilos, and the RX is 36 kilos. So there's a big difference in weight, which makes the ZG quite a lot easier to move around. That being said, the seat height on the ZG is a lot lower than that of the S2 and the RX. So if you come down with me here, you can see that the ZG seat is much lower than the S2, and the S2 is slightly lower than the RX. The ZG isn't really suitable if you're very tall, you know, over 6'2", something like that. You're going to find that quite a small bike. So what Super 73 have done with the S2 and the RX, they've raised the seat height, so it makes it very comfortable for even taller riders. Thank you for watching our review. I hope it was informative and you know the differences now between the Super 73 models. This should make it easier for you to make a decision on which one would be best for you. If you want to try one, come down to Ride and Glide. We've got a demo here you can have a go on. Look on the website for more information, www.rideandglide.co.uk. Get us on email, give us a call, live chat, anything like that. Just contact us anytime and we'll always get back to you really quickly. Thanks once again for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.